Hi, I'm Patricia, and it's really nice to be talking with you. Right now, I'm going to go over just a couple little things. In the emails that I got back, I noticed that there were people who didn't understand why they might want to use email marketing in their horse business. I, of course, had no idea. I assumed that everybody simply knew why and that they should, and you don't know what you're assuming until somebody raises something like that. So I just decided to shoot a really short video. And first we're going to define what I mean by email marketing. And then we're going to go through 10 little reasons why you might want to use email marketing in your horse business. Okay, so as far as email marketing, when I use that term, I mean that you have a hosted service, generally something like Aweber or Constant Contact or MailChimp or GetResponse. Currently, I like GetResponse. And you're not buying emails and then adding them to your newsletter list. You're getting people to opt in kind of organically. You may be marketing an opt-in freebie or something to get them to opt in, but just having an opt-in box on your website and driving whatever traffic it is that you drive to your website, people will opt in, especially if you then provide value through that newsletter. Okay, so it's not spam. They've given you explicit permission, and they have the option of opting out anytime they want. Okay, so now we're going to go into 10 reasons. I'm going to do a little screen share here. 10 reasons why a horse business might want to use email marketing. Okay, reason number 1 is to capture visitors to your website so you can follow up with new, let's say you're selling horses. I don't know what you're selling, but whatever it is that you're selling something. So you're going to follow up with new whatever's for sale, tidbits of information around what it is that you do. I'm going to use, for our example here, a business that sells horses. Okay, but your business will be very similar. So you might follow up, and let people know that you've got, this new horse that came in for sale. You might congratulate somebody on, buying something. You might, hard to know what all you might end up doing. But those would be the 2 main things that I would consider doing if I was running a horse sales business. Okay, the next thing that you want to use it for is for referrals to friends that might be in the market. Really, really easy to do. You have just a little note near the end of the email. It says, if you have a friend or 2 that, might be in the market, feel free to forward this over to them. And then you follow up that with a link to whatever page it is that you have your newsletter sign up on. And it says something like, if someone forwarded this to you, come on over and get on the list, because you want to add people to your list. To build a relationship with them, that is the single most important thing that you can do using email marketing. It's so much easier to sell to somebody who knows, likes, trusts you, even if they haven't met you yet in person. I don't meet most of the people I buy stuff from. I'm not in person. And most of the people who have bought things from me over the years haven't met me in person. I've only met a very few people that are subscribers in person. But you can use it to develop a relationship with them. And then they know you, they like you, they trust you, and I mean, you know it yourself. It's so much easier to buy something from somebody that you know and you like than it is to sometimes even go somewhere convenient and you don't like the person or the people who are running the business, right? So you go somewhere else where you like the people. Reason number 4 is to extend your geographical reach. Yes, your website makes you an international business, but instead of selling your horses regionally by okay, you now have statewide or even international reach. You know, you have so many more people that you can reach with each horse. That means they sell faster. That means the time that they spend at your facility is less. That means your profit margin on each, even if it's the same amount, it wouldn't be the same amount, because if you sell a horse faster, he's not going to eat as much hay and whatnot as he is if he stays longer. So the faster you can turn over, the better you are. Reason number 5 is to remain top of mind in your prospect's mind. You want them to remember who you are. You want them to remember what it is you do, so that the next time that they need to buy a horse for themselves, for a client, whatever, right? They're going to say, oh, yeah, I remember. Let me find Greg's email. And they go and they dig it out, and you know that they've got you at top of mind. They don't have to, you know, forcibly remember who you are. Another reason number 6, is to ask for feedback, as I did a few days ago with the quick announcement and a favor email. It's really easy to get feedback on a new website, a new feature, a new idea, a new whatever. And sometimes we don't like the feedback that we get, but if you keep a positive frame of mind, you can always take that feedback and, you know, give your people what it is that they need. Otherwise, you're just guessing. Reason number 7 is to educate your buyers. One way that we can educate our buyers is, you know, how do you want people to work with you? How do you want them to connect with you? Some people like to be connected, you know, via text. Some people want you to call them. Some people want email. Some people want connected on Facebook or, you know, LinkedIn or on, you know, Twitter, whatever. So you want people to connect with you, just as one point of how you might educate your buyers. You might educate them on, you know, how to be prepared to buy a horse. You know, how many hours is it going to take to buy a horse? It takes 6 hours to buy a car. I didn't know that. And I even bought a car recently, and I thought it took way too long. Well, I happened to be on the list of somebody who sells cars. And he said, you know, it usually takes 6 hours to buy a car. And I thought about it, you know, you're right. You got to plan for that whole, you know, test drive 3 or 4 vehicles, do the banking stuff, do the paperwork shtick, run to the DMV, run here, run there. Yeah, it took us 6 hours to buy that car. So, you know, what does it take to buy a horse? What pieces do they need to have in order before they come out to your facility? You know, some people want, you know, just your checkbook. Other people might want a letter from the bank, depending on what kind of horse you're selling. So those are things that you might educate your subscribers, you know, as to how to work with you. Number 8 is to establish yourself or your business as the authority that you or it is. You're in business and you're doing a good job. That makes you an authority of sorts. And having a list and sending to people regularly and, you know, doing small things to educate them and keeping them updated on, you know, what animals you have coming in, you know, animals that got sold, this horse has this kind of show record, or this horse is just going to be a pasture pet, lawn ornament. You know, it establishes yourself as an authority that the authority that you actually are. And it's not that difficult to do. Reason number 9 is to get people to come back to your website. How many times have you gone to a website and you thought, oh, this is just the coolest thing ever. I'm not ready to buy it right now. I'll remember it when I am. And then you go away and bing, it falls right out of your head. Well, you know what? That comes to you. That happens to your visitors too. So you need to capture them so that you can follow up with them so that when they are ready to buy, that they will come back to your website. And if you watch your statistics, either through your email program or on your website, you will see spikes when you send out those emails that have links that say, oh, we just got this really fabulous new horse in, come on over and look at her, read more about her on the website, whatever, right? You'll see the people actually do come and they come back to your website. It is one of the most powerful ways that you can get people back to your website. And number 10, last but certainly not least, your email list, your subscriber list is the single biggest, most important asset your business can ever have. It doesn't matter, what kind of amazing facility that you have or the amazing horses that you have. If you don't have people buying those horses or buying those riding lessons or whatever it is they're selling, it doesn't matter. It's just a great, big, beautiful facility that's there sucking money instead of making money. Your email list is the single most important asset your business can ever have. I can't iterate that enough. So, that is 10 reasons why your business, whatever you do, whether you're an information marketer like myself, if you're a riding instructor, if you're a horse trainer, if you're selling horses, if you're whatever it is you do, your business needs an email list. Number 1, and 2, you need to be using it. So those are 10 reasons why you need to use it.